welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game from Lock and Load Publishing called Junkers 87 Stuka Ace. So this is a solitaire war game, and this is one of those kind of narrative style war games with a bit more to it than you've seen in some of the other kind of titles that have been put out there by other companies. And this is one of their first forays into this style of game, so I'm very much looking forward to this. So this comes in a big, massive box, 3-inch at least, and then it's also a nice linen finished box. This is very thick and sturdy. But yeah, the back of it has the details of, you know, it's a solo game, that's what it is. It's not particularly complex, and it's got lots of different kind of rules and rule books of how to learn and quick kind of setup and play stuff. But the game's designed by Gotado Zancani, who's done a couple of other kind of solo games out there, but this is kind of a big premium box of his, so I'm really much looking forward to this. So let's crack it open and see what we got going on inside. One thing that you will notice, so you get a cool little, I presume, bookmark, which is neat, matches the kind of front cover. So we've immediately got the manuals, but like I said, the thing that you'll notice is that they are spiral bound. And the theaters book is also spiral bound, and that is a relatively new kind of feature that Lock and Load are putting into their games. I know they've done it for First Victories. I believe they also did it for Blood and Fury when they kind of redo the rule sets for Lock and Load Tactical. Those are in a big spiral bound tome. But this is something that they're moving towards, which I really, really like. Especially I like it for these kinds of solitaire games, because what it means is that it's not all bent up and folded up, and it's less likely to get damaged. You see the spines that are stapled in other rule books. Eventually those wear out, and it gets thin, and then they start to tear. But for these, we got the nice rules, very large typeface, lots of negative or like empty space. So yeah, this looks like it's a lot of rules for a solo game, but like, I promise you it's really not. I promise you this is really, really easy to kind of pick up. Like, this is the section of the target. It's like, in any other rulebook it would take up this much space, but they've given it so it's nice, large typeface for us blind people. And also just kind of spacing it out so you can take it at an easier pace as well. And the spiral bound's really, really nice. So that's kind of the manual of the rules. We have the theaters, so this is kind of like the campaigns book. So you have this 1938 China campaign, and you will play through it, and there are 5 missions that you'll play through, get yourself a score at the end, I presume. There's a lot of these, so we've got France, 1940, Britain, Battle of Britain, Crete, Mediterranean, Malta, more Malta, 6 missions it looks like, North Africa, Soviet Union, 1, Sebastopol, North Atlantic. So there's a lot of these, and these are just the different campaigns you can go through. And at the end, it looks like I've got a bit of advertising, a bit of a Werbung in there. But this is all the different campaigns that you can play through in it. Think of these as scenarios, so to speak. But within each scenario, like within each campaign, there's 5 or 6 different missions as well. So just know that you got that going for you. So there's a lot of game in here for what you're doing. And each of those campaigns, you know, has all the unique mission setup cards and objectives, different weather tables and targets and things like that that you're going to play through too. So next up, we're going to get onto a bunch of the paper and card and cardboard. So let me just kind of fish these out. He says, if I could do it. I don't want to tip it because we'll take a look at the cards in the insert here in just a second. Okay, so we've got here our kind of player, kind of group leader or Staffel leader. So a Staffel, I believe, is a squadron. A group is like a flight. I believe that's kind of the... And so you're looking at where you sit within a formation, what kind of formation you've got. Oh, it looks we also have Keta as well, which I think is just the... What would they call that? I don't know. Where you have like just 2 or 3 guys? I can't remember. Anyway, maybe that's a flight, and a wing is the grouper. Maybe that's what it is. But a couple small displays. So the massive stack of card. We have the sequence of play on here. So we have all of our different bits and pieces that we're going with. This is specifically for the Graf Zeppelin mission sequence, it looks like. So for naval operations. Regular theater tables. Okay, it looks like that's its own little thing. So campaign sequence and then victory points. Campaign sequence is another one of these. Are these different? These look to be identical. Interesting. I wonder if there's like a co-op option that you could do. So this is one that you're going to photocopy. This is your pilot's campaign log. You'll photocopy the mission report as well. And it says oh, it doesn't, but yes. This is like full gloss card. You're not going to be writing on this. Ooh, there it is, there you go. But yeah, you're going to fill out what theater that you're going in, the different missions that you do, and your whole career as you fly through all the different theaters as you get reassigned, basically. See how long through the war you can survive. This is, okay, now we're getting into different play aid cards. So I'm just making sure, okay. So we have all of our dogfighting procedures, which you're in a Stuka. It's going to go poorly for you, I would imagine. You don't want to get into dogfights wherever possible. Pilot experience and different things that you can pick up by spending VPs for skills. Your bombing attack runs and what your modifiers are going to be, the different rolls you're going to make to actually do your bomb runs, things like that. More charts on the back for things like flak, returning to base. And then we have our, it looks like we've got a few different unique things here with, yeah, where you're getting assigned, it looks like, potentially. And the rest of these are different variants of the Stuka. Some of them might be theater specific, at least that's what the artwork indicates, like this is clearly the North Africa Mediterranean variant, but you're going to have here your different like hit points effectively, where you're going to put damage markers if you take damage. Your maneuvering and engine power is going to take damage as you get shot up. Are you going to get wounded? Is your gunner going to get wounded and killed? Things like that. Are these much different between them? So it looks like the difference here is in payload. Yeah, so this one's got a much more varied payload in it as well. This one, structure, looks the same as well. Yeah, it looks like they get better and better and better in their own special ways. Does that have more? Don't seem to get much more in the way of hit points though. So I think what you get is what you get. But like this one has guns instead of MGs because you're going to go on strafing cannon runs and things like that, it looks like. I think there's no bombs on here. Missing. But yeah, I think these are all dual-sided as well. So there's a ton of different options of variants that you can play with as well. And then here we have the mostly full sheet of counters. There's a lot of kind of empty space here as well, and these are a couple of different circular ones, but these are all pre-rounded, very thick grey core card. So this includes your different bombs that you're going to have, the damage, the markers that you're going to take, structural damage that you can take, and then some game-specific markers as well. And these are dual-sided, but most of those are because they're admin markers, a lot of them are similar, maybe a different color on the back of them as well, but that's basically that's the only sheet of counters in here, which is not very much, which is nice. And it's pre-rounded, so that's really very little work, if you think about it that way. So the last thing that we'll do is we're going to take a look at the insert. So this is something that I found is newer to Lock and Load Publishing, is that they've got these custom inserts. And when I say custom, what I mean is they've got 4 decks of cards in here, and this is like a tarot-sized, really shallow deck for this little career cards deck. And so it fits in there. This is not nearly as deep as this much larger, probably 30 or 40 card deck that slots in here as well. I did an unboxing for First Victories, Wellington versus Napoleon. It has an insert like this, but it is different because they have different size cards, different shaped cards. So this is custom, and they've gone the extra mile for this, and it fits in nicely. And I'm really, really impressed. I think going the extra mile for this kind of thing really, really helps. But that's what's left in the box of these 4 decks of cards in this nice insert. For reference, it's just a vacuum formed piece of plastic, but that works really, really well. So let's get this out of the way. And we'll take a look at our decks of cards. So we have our career cards. We got a couple of those, and we have our ace cards. And these are very nice, large tarot-sized cards. So you can play through as some of these people, if you wanted to kind of try to match or do better, basically. And then your career cards, these are the little dress-up dolls, where you are going to, over the course of time, if you pick up all these different medals and accolades and things, you just have this off to the side, and you can have your rank up here, I believe, and then you're going to pin, literally like pin the little counters on here to see how much that you can kind of accrue prestige-wise in that sense. So we have here, let's see what we got. So we have flight cards, and we have target cards. I don't know if there's a separate, if there's more in here, so let's have a quick look. So we have flight cards. Yeah, it looks like we do. We have action cards. Wait, those are different as well. Altitude. So we got flight cards. That's really hard to see, isn't it? Altitude cards, and we have action cards. And I imagine these are all flight cards, it looks like here. Oop, let's get the shrink off these. More flight cards. This is the back of them. So the flight cards tell you if you're approaching. I think it looks like there's a lot of things that you might, like you're going to pull for an approach, you're going to pull for a return to base, it looks like. Ooh, are those different? No. Different missions. And these all have a designation on them. And I believe that those are what are referenced in the theaters when you start building Mission 4. You're going to build your flight cards deck, and you're going to sort out your objectives and things like that. So the targets, I presume, are what the objectives are. So let's crack open this last deck of cards here. These are all target cards here, and then we have objective cards. Ooh. Okay, so we have the objective card. So this is your localized objective within the mission that you're doing. So you're going to go search for AA defenses, enemy contact, prepare formation. So you're going to be pulling these. Did you find the target? Hey, target reached. Oh, was there an enemy patrol? Was there any enemy defenses? You'll build a deck of objective cards, I presume. And then we have our munitions cards, and we have more flight cards. Okay, a couple more flight cards. These look like they're specific mission China ones. We have our munitions cards that just tells us, hey, you're carrying these different types of bombs. What do they do? You know, oh, this got an additional DRM against certain things. This one's got a DRM against these very different things, for example. So those are a couple of just reference cards. But our target cards, we're going to build a deck of these. Hey, we're going to pull, okay, today we're going after the trucks, and then we're going to go through the objective cards. Did we find the trucks? Did we find the trucks? Oh, we found the trucks. Uh-oh, there's some air defenses, right? That's the kind of thing that we're rolling through. And so we're using decks of cards for those instead of, I believe, just rolling randomly on charts to see what happens. So that's, oh, the altitude cards. I presume this is when we get into dogfighting. This is kind of what it's at, what we're looking for, and how things are going. So it looks like they've moved, and these are action cards. Maybe these are for the dogfighting. You know, oh, I have 3 maneuverability because my engines are still working. So I can do those good maneuvers. So it's not just rolling through charts. I think they've moved some of that stuff onto cards so that you have a bit more of I don't know, a bit more of a randomizer in that experience, but also it can be tailored a bit more than you can on just having like a little like random die table that you roll on. I think you can customize a lot more of that into these card decks for mission specific stuff, so you get a bit of a different feel with each of those different things. So either way, that's kind of everything that you get in the box for, well, let's get that in shot, for Junkers 87 Stuka Ace. This is something that I will get to the table very quickly. Again, rules-wise, I have played very similar styles of this game, so I expect to pick it up very easily. But if you're looking for a solitaire game that is extremely well produced, that's this style, this is going to be where you're looking for. And I really am very, very impressed with how much they've put into their production. And like, they really, really go the extra mile compared to a lot of other publishers out there. The spiral-bound books, the linen finished the linen finished box, the nice cards, the insert, the pre-rounded, very thick counters, lots of play aid cards. I'm expecting a lot from this game, and I really hope that it it is as good as I hope that it will be, because it looks really awesome. So check this out if this is something that you're interested in. I appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.